Today we're going to look at lesson 9 of chapter 5, which is dividing fractions and mixed numbers. So far we have done multiplying fractions, mixed numbers, and whole numbers, and today we're going to look at dividing fractions, mixed numbers, and whole numbers. So the first thing we need to look at is what a reciprocal is, which is basically just the reverse or the opposite of a fraction. So for example, if we have 1/3 and we multiply that by 3/1, which is the reciprocal, 1/3, and the reciprocal is 3/1, the opposite or the reversed or the flipped fraction would equal 3/3, which equals 1. Our steps to divide a fraction by a whole number is first make the whole number a fraction by putting a 1 under it, just like we did with multiplication. Step 2, copy, change, flip. That's the phrase you want to remember, copy, change, flip. You're copying the first fraction exactly like it is, changing the sign from division to multiplication, and then flipping the second fraction to the reciprocal. So then step 3 is multiply the fractions like we did the other day and simplify your answer. An example of that would be if we have 8/7 divided by 7. We have the whole number 7. To make it a fraction, we just put a 1 under it. Now we have two fractions. Now I'm ready to do my copy, change, flip. So I'm copying my first fraction exactly the way it is, 8/7. I'm copying as 8/7, changing the sign from division to multiplication, and then flipping the second fraction, 7/1, I'm flipping to the reciprocal, which is 1/7. Now I multiply just like I did before. 8 times 1, multiply the numerators, equals 8. And multiply the denominator. 7 times 7 is 49. This can't be simplified, so my final answer is 8/49. How do you divide a fraction by a fraction? We just did that. You copy, change, flip. Copy the first fraction, change the sign from division to multiplication, flip the second fraction, multiply the fractions, and then simplify. For example, I already have my fractions already in fraction form, so I don't need to do a step before doing the division. So I have 5/6 divided by 2/3. I'm going to do my copy, change, flip, copy, change, flip. So I copy the first one exactly the same, change the sign from division to multiplication, flip the second fraction to 3/2. Now I multiply like normal. 5 times 3, 15. 6 times 2 is 12. I do have an improper fraction, so I need to make that a mixed number. So I divide 12 into 15, goes one whole time, with 3 left over. So 1 and 3/12, keep the denominator the same, equals 1 and 1/4 in simplest form. To reduce that down, you just simplify it down to the smallest terms. So 1 and 1/4. To divide a fraction by a mixed number, you just change that mixed number into an improper fraction first, and then follow the same steps that we've been doing. Copy, change, flip. Copy the first fraction, change the sign from division to multiplication, flip the second fraction, multiply the fractions, and then simplify your answer. So for example, if we had 2 3/4 divided by 1 and 1/12, I first make these improper fractions so that I have two fractions that I'm dividing. So I'm going to do 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11/4, divided by 12 times 1 is 12, plus 1 is 13/12. And now I'm ready to do copy, change, flip. I copy the first one, 11/4, change the sign to multiplication, flip the second one to 12/13. Now, we discussed in class when we were multiplying fractions that we could simplify before and then do the multiplication, or simplify after. I'm going to simplify before, so I know that 4 and 12, I can simplify those right now before I multiply, so I don't have a big fraction to simplify later. 4 will go into 4 one time, and 4 will go into 12 3 times. So I now have a 3 here and a 1 here. So now I'm ready to multiply. I can't simplify anything else. 11 times 3 is 33, and 1 times 13 is 13. So now from here, I'm going to make this a mixed number. I cannot leave this as an improper fraction as my answer. So I'm going to divide 13 into 33, goes 2 times. Seven's left over, so my answer is 2 wholes with 7/13. 7's left over, 13's the denominator, that stays the same. So 2 and 7/13 can't be simplified, so my final answer is 2 and 7/13. Okay, tomorrow in class we will continue to work on those. We will be working on division of fractions, mixed numbers, and whole numbers.